Hello everyone and welcome to the session of data science. In this session we are going to learn about list. Before moving ahead, I'd like to quickly introduce myself. I'm Neha Oja and I work as a software engineer in Kpro Solutions Private Limited. Kpro is a leading provider in the field of analytics, data lake, machine learning, artificial intelligence, IoT, cloud and mobile applications. So let's not waste any time and look at today's agenda. So we will start our session with understanding what is list and what it is used for, and then we will move forward and learn how to create a list, how to name the list element, how to access list element, and how to manipulate list. Let's learn some basic concepts of list. So lists are the R objects which contains element of different data type like numeric, character, vector. We can also pass another list in a list. It can also take matrix and function as its element, and to create a list we use list function. Now we will learn how to create list, how to name list element, how to access list element, and how to manipulate list. So we'll start with creating a list. As we have discussed earlier, a list can take different type of data types simultaneously. So let me show you that how we can create a list using elements of different data type. I'm going to name my list as list 1 and I'm going to use list function for creating. The first element I am passing is of character data type. The second element I am passing is of integer data type. The third element I am passing is logical data type. And the fourth element I am passing is the vector. So our list got created. Let me print and show you the elements of list. So it contains these 4 elements. Since list contain another list as its element, it is considered as recursive variable. To test whether a variable is recursive or atomic, R have 2 functions, and that is recursive and atomic. Let us check what is being returned when we use these 2 functions on our list. I am first using atomic on my list, that is list 1. So it's returning false. It means the list 1 is not atomic. When I'll use recursive on my list 1, it should return true. So it's returning true, which means our list 1 is recursive, and this is because it can take another list as its element. Now we'll learn to give names to the list element. So for that, let's first create a list containing a vector, a matrix, and another list. I'll give name to my list as list data 1. The first element I'm passing is vector. The second element I'm passing is matrix. And third element I am passing is another list. So our list got created. Now I have to give the name to all these elements, that is vector, matrix, another list. So for that I am going to use name function. The argument which we have to pass in this name function is the name of the list which we have created. The name I want to give to the first element is vector. The second element is matrix. And to the third element is list. So here I have given the name to the elements of my list. So I'll print my list and see what names are assigned to the elements. So here you can see the first element is now named as vector 1. The second element is now named as matrix 1. And the third element is now named as the list 1. So this is how we can give name to our list elements. Now we'll learn how to access list elements. Previously we have created a list, and in that list we have passed vector, matrix, and another list. Now let's suppose we want to access the vector which is present in that list. So for accessing that, you have to give the name of your list, and then you have to pass the position of the element which you want to access. So in our case, the vector is at the first position, so we are passing 1. So it is printing all the vector element which is passed in the list data. Now let's suppose you want to access the second element of the vectors which is passed in the list data 1. So for that, what you have to do is you have to give the name of your list, and in double bracket you have to pass the position of list element, and in the single bracket you have to pass the position of vector element. So in our case, the position of the list element is 1, and the position of the vector element is 2, so it is printing 5. We can also access the vector element using the name of the vectors. So let's suppose we want to access the inner list which we have passed in the list data. So for that, what you have to do is you have to give the name of your list, you have to give $sign, and then you have to give the name of the element which you want to access. So this is printing all the list data which we have passed as a part of inner list. So this is how you can access list element. Now we'll learn merging of the two lists. So for that, we will first create two lists. So I'll give name to my first list as list A, and I'm passing integer in that list. I'm giving name to my second list as list B, and I'm passing character in that. Now I want to create a list which is having the elements of both the list. So for that, I have to use list function, and in the argument I have to pass these two lists. So here I have defined a list K, and I'm using list function, and in the argument I am passing these two lists. When I'll print this list, you will see it contains the element of both the list A and B. So this is how you can merge the list. You can also convert a list into a vector, and for that we have unlist function. So you have to use the unlist function, and the argument of the unlist function, you have to give the name of the list which you want to convert into a vector. So here, let's suppose I want to convert list B into a vector. So for that, I am passing list B in the argument. Here it is converted into a vector. So this is how you can work with list. Now let us have a quick look on the topics which we have covered so far. So we have started with understanding what is list, and then we have demonstrated how to create list, how to name the list element, access and manipulate list. That's all for today's session. In the next session, we are going to learn about functions. We will learn different type of functions like built-in function and user-defined function, and we will also learn how to define and call a function. Thank you for watching this video. You can provide your valuable feedback in the comment section below, or you can also write us at feedback@kpro.co.in. To learn more about new technologies, you can subscribe our YouTube channel on blockchain, cloud, data science, ETL, data lake, DevOps, big data testing, and cloud testing. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Thank you once again. Let's keep learning.